That new intro gets me so pumped up every time. Ah, that is fire. Special shout out to Dilshan for making that for me. He is an absolute genius. Here we are. Curmudgeon's Corner, oh, excuse me, the Corner Hangout. Phoenix E.O.D. Phoenix E.O.D. presents the Corner Hangout, number 82. Welcome, everybody. Great to see you guys. Looks like we have Mary in the house, and we have Humberto and Keith Firebird. Keith, apparently it's your birthday, so I wrote it down. I'm gonna send you a gift certificate for your birthday. So happy birthday, my friend Keith Firebird. So tonight's episode, we're going to be calling it "There's Plenty for Everyone." Not just because there's plenty of apple juice for everyone, but I got one of my very, very dear friends that lives his everyday life and has taught me so much. And when I asked him why he would help me, that's what he said. There's plenty for everyone. Because at the time, we were technically competition. That did not stop him one bit. So anyway, wow. We got to pay the bills. And then when we pay the bills, we will immediately bring on our guest because he needs no introduction. He is the GOAT. He is the godfather. He is the guy that taught me all that I need to know about detailing and chemicals and customers and everything. He is truly a mentor. So let's pay the bills. Let's get this thing started. Take a minute to recognize the people who continue to make the Corner Hangout possible, our friends over at the House of Rags. And if you've been hanging around the corner for any length of time, you've heard me say this, but I think it bears repeating. I don't want sponsors on the show that I wouldn't personally do business with. And I do business with because you can see that their towels are now available on Phoenix E.O.D's website. Thor isn't just some random company that bought 60 seconds of airtime. They are people that we know, people that we work with, people whose product Phoenix actually carries, and people who have continued to put their support behind this goofy little thing we're building every Saturday night, this community. Their philosophy is right there in three words, built on quality. Good microfiber, good products, good people, no BS. And whether you need serious drying towel or something ridiculously plush for that final wipe down, or just a dependable stack of microfibers that's going to earn its keep at the shop, Thor has got you covered. Head on over to the House of Rags and check out their entire lineup and use promo code THECORNER. That's it, all one word, and it'll save you 10% on your entire order. And when you use that code, you're also letting Thor know that you're supporting this show and that this community matters to you. So, to Jamie, Eddie, and everybody over there at the House of Rags, thank you for believing in what we're doing here. The House of Rags, built on quality. Now, let's bring in the OG. Huh? Hello, my friend.
How are you? Thank you for having me once again.
Of
And
course.
hello to everybody out there this evening. Hope you're having a great Saturday evening. I have the shop manager by my side, huffing and puffing, in case you might hear
Absolutely.
it, as usual. And we're ready to go. Let's get this thing started.
It's like Rich and Nate have joined our band of brotherhood, sisterhood. How you been, man? It's been about a month now since I've seen you.
Very good. Very good. Busy. Keeping busy. That's the way I like it. Semi-retirement or retirement, whatever you want to call it. It seems that you have less time than you actually did before, if you start thinking about it. Always something to do.
I have a man in my life. His name is Dr. Baxter. He was a professor of mine in college, and he's been everything to me. 87 years old, and he's retired, but he's the busiest man I have ever met in my entire life. Just bananas. I don't think retirement for some people means exactly what it means for the rest of the world.
No, I mean, once you hit that period of time in your life when you can stop and smell the roses, you think of all the stuff that you enjoy that you haven't been able to do. And when you start to do them, there's just so many of them. It really fills up your time. So yeah.
Sure. Yeah, Al Daly in the house, and John Weber. Dude, Guardian, huh? How about Guardian? Guardian Auto Detailing. He has been making some content for me for my YouTube channel, actual how-to videos. They are absolute fire. I mean, what a you guys, y'all are just fantastic. So, for somebody watching the show tonight who doesn't know the great Brian Spitler Sr., who is Brian Spitler Sr.? You're just gonna let that float? You're just gonna let that float out there? Okay, all right. I'll give you the.
Where would you?
Well,
I was thinking of a starting point. Where would you like me to start? How's that? A return question.
Yeah, well, I mean, so you've been on my show a couple of times now, and I mean the Brian origin story is pretty well known, and you've been on other people's shows too. I know that you did a fantastic interview with Chelsea. Chelsea, she's dangerous. I do not like doing interviews with Chelsea at all because she gets me talking. She gets me, she gets all the juicy.
She
bits
comes
out.
prepared.
She does.
Great.
She knows,
it was a great show.
She knows how to give an interview without a doubt. So
that she does.
So basically, just give me a 36,000-foot view of Brian.
Absolutely. Well, obviously, before the retirement stage, I guess if you want to call it that, detailing has been about a huge chunk of my life for about 80% of my life. I started that to pay for insurance for my first car, and that was at the end of a body shop, obviously, cleaning up dust from repairs, Bondo. And once I got it into my blood, just like everybody else, it sticks with you. I started different businesses, but just for an example, a trucking company, I always kept the end bay to detail when I didn't have to go out because I loved it. It was in my blood. It always will be in my blood. I'm still doing it now. But just like everybody out there, I love to do it. It's therapy to me for some things, especially mentally. Physically now, I'm kind of worn down. That's why I had to step back from it.
Mm.
Hips, shoulders, knees, nose.
Yeah, well, I mean, so I had that massive accident back in '94, and both of my knees were destroyed, and so I knew right away that detailing for me was probably not going to be anything that I'm going to ever be able to really do a lot of because, yeah, exactly. I mean, you don't think about it, but you're up and down and up and down, and you're squatting for forever, and just, I mean, and if you're not built for it, it's no, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it is physically demanding, and over a period of time, it can be costly if you don't take care of yourself. If you're stooping, use the knee pads. Keep your knees off the cold pavement. Watch how you bend over. Use a stool when you can. Look for the right stool. Many ways you can go about it. But yeah, it definitely, you don't think about it at the time, but over a period of time, it definitely
Sure.
can take its
Oh
toll.
yeah, EMS was the same way. I mean, I beat myself up a lot in EMS. Up and down and lifting and carrying people downstairs, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I get you. I get you. So when you turn detailing into a career, did you have any like mentors? Did you have any of the Brian Spitlers in your life that you could able to ask questions and review your channel? I mean, so many people that I've talked to that know you. I'm like, oh, I've learned so much from watching Brian's channel and this, that, and the other thing. And I mean, you do have 200,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, and how many videos? Like a bazillion videos.
2,000, about 2,000, just under 2,000 videos.
Holy smokes.
But 34, 35 years ago, we didn't have Reddit or forums or really anywhere to go to. We couldn't be YouTube certified back then. But really, I starting at a body shop, I just figured out, hey, they need to get the dust from the interior. They need to have it smell better. They need to get the Bondo dust out from the carpeting and the upholstery. So little by little, I would put together what worked for me and figured it out on my own. Polishing, when you get to the exterior, polishing was simple. We had about a 24-pound rotary polisher. It was this big, made of steel and just all metal, heavy as all heck. And you had one pad. It was a wool pad that had you sneezing from the fibers after the first minute of working it. And that definitely built your stamina and your muscles up using it. But you had one compound. It was 3M back then. We had a pail of it with a rag hanging out, and you would just grab it, sling it onto the car, pick up the polishers, and go. Now, yeah, great for cutting, but if you pulled it out into the sun, well, you obviously would see what, buffer trails. But that's what we had to do back in
Yeah.
the day.
And all the dusting, like with the compounds.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, many times at that point of time, if you didn't know or master wet sanding or rotary polisher, you didn't have a job because that's really all there was at that point. No DA polishers, no foam pads that could help you finish down. It was fun.
All right. And we all know that the reason why you started your channel was because you wanted to show your boy how easy it was to create video content. And then it just kind of took off from there. And now I've come to you at least 4 or 5 times to talk to you about video editing, and you're just like, oh, it's so easy. Just and I'm just like, I'm a noob.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to. Well, I didn't want to show him how easy it was because it never was easy, and it still isn't easy. I made it more efficient, is the best way to put it. But I wanted to show him that you can jump in front of a camera and find your style. And then, of course, he moved on to bigger and better things, anyways. But I started to reach out and connect with those watching tonight and those that have been following the channel for quite some time. And that became very enjoyable and important to me because that connection with really good people, nothing can beat that. Even the detailing itself can't beat that. So I continued to do it and grew the channel, and now we have
Yeah.
a good family.
I honestly, this is like Phoenix gave me the platform, and the people that I have made. I mean, these guys, everybody in the chat rooms, they're like, I jokingly call them the Phoenix family because they are family to me. I love these people, and getting to meet them at trade shows and coming out to the warehouse and just doing all of these things. I know Thor's going to have a big birthday party in September. I'm going out there, and I'm going to be able to hang out with Fred from Glovebox and a bunch of other people that I don't get to see all the time. And the question was asked to me a lot if I was going to do SEMA this year, and I don't think that I'm going to do SEMA, but I'm going to go out to Las Vegas during SEMA because I don't need to be on the floor. I think it's a big D-swing moment, and I don't need to be on the floor. But I do want to meet with people. Like I know Detail Doug, he's supposed to be out there for the show. I think my buddy from Australia might be coming into the show. And so, I have a much better time with the people than I do being on the show floor. You know what I mean? Because it's so hectic, it's so crazy, it's so chaotic.
Yeah, I mean, I was brutally honest with you what I thought about SEMA and why I never went personally for any of my ventures. I mean, just quite honestly, it doesn't do a whole lot for your business. It helps to get your name out there if you're just starting out, but it's really a huge grab ass festival. Great way to network, but when it comes to your business, not a whole lot. is gained. A lot of great people to meet and again socialize and start to network your business, but was never worth it to me.
What about MTE? You want to go to MTE with me next year?
That is definitely a more viable event. And
It's so much better. It's
yeah.
so much better. It's not rushed. It's
What
not
was the name of
hectic.
the event that we went to? It was sort of dying out.
Southern Detailers Conference.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So apparently the guy that originally set up the Southern Detailers Conference, he died of a heart attack.
Yeah, wasn't
And
that just a year before we went, or just a
yep.
couple months, maybe?
Yeah, and so the company that bought DC also was in charge of the MTE, and so they did the Southern Detailers Conference, and they didn't do anything with it. For me personally, I think they completely,
They dropped the ball on build
yeah,
up
they did
and
a
advertising.
massive disservice to us. Then they made an announcement last year that they were merging the two together, and that only MTE was going to exist from now on. And so I've been going to MTE for the last 2 years, and I love it. I love it. I get to have dinner with all kinds of people and my friends and stuff that I've made throughout the community. And
Yeah, meeting the community. Some of the best memories, being out in Chicago for Turtle Wax, Arizona, a couple other places, and meeting some of the people and getting to shake their hand. And
yep,
after seeing them down in the comment section for so long, having them,
yeah,
in front of me, nothing beats that.
yep.
That
I
was
mean,
that was
right.
great.
I know I shouldn't. I'm not. I don't mean to. I don't mean to value one person over another, but um, getting to meet Mary Hoffman was such a treat for me. She's such a wonderful human being, and the fact that she came down there and I was able to give her a hug. It was fantastic. It was, you know what I mean? It's just like, hey, I've known you and I've seen you, but now I really see you. You know what I mean? So that was pretty cool. We have a question, sir. Nate Brad would like to know any advice for a first car for my son. We're skipping ahead. We should be saving this for the auction car reconditioning phase of this show, but we'll jump in here because I don't want Nate to feel unseen.
Oh, hey, no problem whatsoever. We could mix it all up. So definitely a Honda or a Toyota. Toyota being at the top of my list when it comes to the shop manager.
Yeah.
Uh, Pitching in, but definitely we're not talking about brand new. I'm talking about mid 2000s, early 2000s. That's going to be the best Toyota Honda vehicles out there. They're actually having their problems right now with the newer cars, but mid to early 2000s, Toyota, Honda, any of the spin-offs or the luxury brands from them like Acura. When it comes to Nissan, that's hit or miss,
I,
and
I'm
they
gonna
have
I'm
their.
I gotta interrupt you. I'm gonna say miss on Nissan. All right, they've angered me. They pissed me off, and I love the Nissan. My Pathfinder was absolutely fantastic, and I had always wanted a Titan, so I could say Titan. Uh, Titan is the truck that Titan bought. I mean that's my flagship product. But then when I learned about the transmission and how it is designed
Yep.
to fail and designed to, like, if you want to replace it, you have to buy it brand new kit from the factory. So you can't just go, down to
Well,
the.
nobody rebuilds the CVT. Like, depending on what it is, like your Titan would have had a different type of transmission. It's the motor in them, but the CVTs, nobody rebuilds them. There is maybe one or two or three on the West Coast now that kind of rebuild them, but it would be a factory rebuild that you would have to order. And they are such a huge gamble. The motors, Nissan motors, like look at an old Altima or a Maxima from the early 2000s. If it wouldn't be for the body falling apart or the transmission, those motors would keep going, and they get abused and they're not maintained. They don't get the oil change. They just keep on going. It's such a shame. So
Yeah.
it is hit or miss. I've always had good luck with the Infinities, especially the QX56 or 80 or the station wagon. But if you're going to get one, that CVT trans, change the fluid and the filter if you can get to it every
Yeah, I
30
mean,
to
I got
50,000.
233,000 miles out of my Pathfinder, and
Well,
Papa Smurf
what
was
more can you ask for?
yeah, well, that's what Papa Smurf was just like, dude. I don't think I've ever seen one over 170,000 miles. And I was like, well, you take care of it, but
Yeah.
I just find it to be kind of shady business practice if you're making a replacement part that only you can only get from the factory, and it bothers me. So I'm going to say no, no.
Yeah, so Toyota, Corolla, if they want an SUV, the RAV4, if they want something for the family. I've had a Toyota Sienna with 543,000 miles on it. Now, if you think about it, I didn't even hesitate picking this up. I got it for 750 bucks, but something with that type of mileage only got that way from being loved and well maintained. And
Sure.
anything that came up, they replaced the part new. That's the only way you can survive. That's the only way a car is going to get that type of mileage. And a car with 168,000 would scare me more than a car with 548,000. But a Toyota can do that easily with just regular maintenance.
Maintenance. Yeah, I had the car before I had that was my Dodge Dakota, and I love that truck. I mean, I love that truck. I'm pretty positive my son was born into that truck, and 266,000 miles, and I drove it until it literally the wheels fell off, like the mounting brackets rotted out, and my mechanic was like, well, I mean, you could probably get this thing over to a body shop and they could, you could sink another couple grand into, rebuilding the frame. But
It's a shame because eventually everything around the motor falls apart. It starts to nickel and dime you, but
yeah, exactly.
could keep on going, really.
Yep. Yep. Lots of distractions tonight. Sorry. Got a lot going on. You are, again, going back to see, we got lots of questions, but I want to keep going back to them.
Keep them going. I love the questions.
All right, since we've kind of segued into the auction car reconditioning, I'll keep it here. But there's a couple of other questions that are more about your detailing stuff. But here, question, Brian: can a Chevy Malibu make it to 2,000 miles?
Yes, it can, and I know that because. All right, so if you've been following the channel for a long period of time, I had the Lamborghini on there, the orange one,
Yeah,
and I had to get down there to pick it up because I picked it up from North Carolina, Charlotte, Carolina, and they offered to ship that thing up to me, and I said no. I want the experience and the memory of driving it home with the top down. It was going to be a beautiful day. It was an 8-hour drive. But I said, do you take anything as a trade-in? And it happened that I had an older blue Malibu, and it had close to 200,000 miles on it. Timing chain was about to go. It was leaking oil, but it just kept going and going and going. I actually even gave up on maintenance. It was a nightmare, but it kept going. And I could imagine how long it could have survived if I only maintained it, took care of it. But they said, yeah, whatever you bring down, we'll take the title. We'll give you at least 500 bucks for it. If you can tow it in, we'll give you something. Well, 3/4 of the way down there, the check engine light came on, uh, oil light, dash lights lit up like a Christmas tree, but it kept going and going. I would stop, put oil in it. It would leak out faster than I could put it in. I made it all the way down there. This car survived and got me there. Just a just a total survivor. Uh, when I parked it and shut it off, I could tell you it never started again. signed over the title. Salvage company came, towed it away. But yeah, you can really put a lot of miles and a lot of uh, wear and tear on them. Just maintain it.
Yeah.
If you pick one up, check all of the fluids. Now, one tip on that, with that many miles, if the transmission fluid has not been changed and you smell it and it's dark red and burnt, just leave it as is. Don't change it. Don't change and filter out those particulates. Those clutches are gone. But if it's nice and pink and somebody's been doing it, keep doing it every 30,000-40,000 miles. Change the oil filter, flush the antifreeze.
And you're talking about like if you're going to inspect this used vehicle for purchase, you want to check those things first, correct?
Yep.
Listen to Brian stories all night. I know, I do. I go out there and we hang out. My best times is when you and I get to go and hang out and we have lunch over there at Rosa's, and we just get to hang out and tell stories. We have so much fun on No Direction.
Well, to finish the story about bringing that Giardo back from Carolina, I thought it was going to be a great idea to drive that back the 8 hours and experience it. And well, the first 30 to 45 minutes were a great experience. After 45 minutes, with those seats being as hard as cardboard and everything stiff, and it's built to just be a race car, it's like driving a go-kart. I was reaching in my overnight bag for every sweatshirt, everything I could find to put behind my back because I was in great pain already. After the 5th hour, then it just went completely numb from the nerves rubbing together, and I had a great time coming back. But I would look down often, find myself rushing at 105, 110 on 80 coming up through. But yeah, definitely one of the better experiences I had. A beautiful day all the way back. Um, just yeah, some fun times.
Detailing with AK. Welcome to the show, man. Appreciate it. Or I'm not sure, but that's cool. Whoever you are, thank you for showing up. All right. Let's see here. Let's do another starred question. Nope. That starred question is for later in the show. All right. So, being one of the original Horsemen, you, sir, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty positive you and I got together in 2015. I think that's when we first met, and you were a rock star from the very, very beginning. And I was working for the old company.
So
And
I was going to say, was our first visit in the Warnersville or Robizonia location?
it was, so that was the thing. You had just moved to Warnersville because the address that you still had listed was in Robinsonia, and so I went there first, and they were like, "Oh no, he moved down to the next town, so just get back on Penn Ave and head on down, and you'll see his shop." And so they the mechanics that were in there told me how to find you. So you had just moved.
I would say closer to 2017, somewhere in that area, but you're
Okay.
close.
All right, that's fair. I kind of a blur. That the old place was kind of a blur, but that makes sense. And I was going up against one of the Ardex products in a lot of the dealerships that I was going into, and they, I kept losing over and over and over again to one of their I think it was one of their compounds, and then so I was doing research on what exactly is this compound, and you had done a video on it, and so
Is
I
that
watched
the
the
rust?
video.
I can't even remember the name of it anymore, but I think it was a
it was
rust
a blue,
colored.
it was a blue bottle.
Oh, blue.
It was like I think it was their 1500 cut, whatever that what was called. I forget the name of it. I don't know, but it was like a 1500 cut compound. And so I was watching the video, and then I wanted to, and I thought to myself, and I'll be honest, I didn't know anything about YouTube influencers. I didn't know anything about like people's channels and things of that nature. I was literally just doing research on a competitor's product. And that's right. Guardian, I'll drink to that.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody watching is from the the area, but at that time I had three that were stopping by. One was called Hinterschnitz. Did you ever hear of them? Did you
Nope.
ever? So they were out of closer to Allentown, Hinterschnitz, and then Ardex, and then yeah, Xtreme. Those were the three in my area at that time that were swinging by.
Nice, nice. Um, yeah. So, and so then I was just like, well, how does someone get a product review done? And then I looked on your about page and I saw that I'm like, you're in my territory. Like the company that I worked for, we had stuff as far out as it's past Gettysburg. Oh, I think McConnellsville but it was out there. We were all the way out there, and I think
Yeah, I mean, I remember you saying I was on the way to going
yeah,
out west somewhere. Sure.
yeah, for sure. And so I came to visit you, and I asked you. I told you about who we were and what we were doing, and so on and so forth. And then I said, is it possible to maybe put some product in your hand and see if you would review that stuff? And I don't know if you remember what you told me.
Was it about the product or was it about you starting your own company?
We didn't have that kind of friendship right out of the gate. No, so it was about the product. It was about the product. Yeah,
That I don't.
that level of friendship came a few years later. Or I mean, we were pretty fast friends, but no, it had to have been earlier than that because I remember.
What was the product?
I don't care. I don't remember what the product was, but what you said to me was, if I do this, are you going to be available to my customers? Because I
Oh, right,
only
yeah,
am going to
yeah.
deal with a company that will be available for questions and things of that for my community.
Yep.
That's what you said. And I 100% will pledge that I will be there for your community. And that told me right out of the gate what type of a person you were. And that it wasn't like all for show and it wasn't for some sort of weird monetization and you weren't just clickbait. You were who you are. I was thoroughly, and that's why we became friends as quickly as we did, is because the caliber of a man that you are is amazing. And your on-screen persona is exactly, it's not fake, it's not a show. You are who you are, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, and you were there for every one of my customers and every one of the viewers that had questions or concerns. You were there, so that meant a lot.
Appreciate that. We got some good stuff going on. Brian, you are a teetotaler when it comes to the heavy spirits, correct? But you do imbibe every once in a while. I know I sent you a bottle of Bullet for
The
my
the the,
first Christmas, I
the
think.
yeah, the heavy stuff, not quite my cup of tea. I enjoy the not the IPAs, but I like the beer. The Yingling Lager to me has a great
Yeah.
taste. Yeah, just I enjoy that so much
And I'm
more.
happy to report to the people that are watching the show that you found the lost footage of No Direction Be Real, which I'm excited about because we were drinking some pretty nasty beer on that episode, and it
Yeah,
needs
and
to be
that wasn't
shown.
even the worst of it apparently. So we can do another one to follow up and really go
Yeah,
down the rabbit hole.
I love that. I love that because I think that the beers were all popular domestic stuff, but you can get into some real microbrewery stuff that is just gross.
Oh, yeah, just draws your mouth shut. One I could think of, the Hershey, I forget what it is, what it's called, but it just draws your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Trove something, I think it's called.
All right. So Chelsea Bailey asked this question: will Fab still be one of the four horsemen? That's a great question, and I can only answer for me. I can't answer for Fab. Um, Fab will always be a horseman. These four guys believed in me and helped me from the beginning, and so whatever his future is. I know that he's pretty much done with the whole selling products and really detailing. And I know that he and his wife are full blown into his own mechanic shop now, which is fantastic. And I wish them more success than they've ever experienced in their life. As far as like being a horseman isn't because you were a detailer or are a detailer or you push my products or things of that nature. Being a horseman was somebody in the detailing community that believed in me enough to help me get started with this company. So yeah, Fab will always be a horseman. Brian, borderline retirement, will always be a horseman. Papa Smurf will always be a horseman. And Miranda will always be a horseman. I know that he's not doing a whole lot of YouTube stuff anymore either. He's focusing on his local business. That doesn't mean you're not a horseman for what you can do for me today. It was you guys believing in me in the beginning. And that, I guess, is a good segue into you encouraging me. I think so. If we met in 2017, by 2018, you were saying, "Hey, when are you going to do this for yourself?" And then by 2019, you were leaning into me pretty heavy about, "Hey, when are you going to do this for yourself? You can do this so much better." And it wasn't until COVID. It was right before COVID happened because we had a big meeting. There was the four head offices. It was me. I was the number 2 guy, the director of sales, or excuse me, the sales manager, the warehouse manager, and the ops manager. Did you watch Band of Brothers? So there's that scene where the NCOs all get together and they're like, "We are not going into battle under this captain. He's going to get us all killed. And so we are going to resign our NCO status." And they did that. And then all of a sudden it was like they committed treason. And the general was just like, I ought to have y'all shot and hung, but we have a war to fight. So anyway, there was the 4 of us had gone to the owner and was just like, "Hey, we have a list of grievances. And unless those grievances aren't met, we're done. All 4 of us are walking out of here." And then COVID struck and we got furloughed. And so we all got sent off on our own. And then we got back after COVID was lifted. And that's when, and nothing had changed. We got back after 6 months of being furloughed, 7 months of being furloughed. Nothing had changed. And, so sales manager was the first one to quit. Ops manager was the second one to quit. Warehouse manager was the third to quit. And then, I'm standing there. And that's when I said to you, "Hey, if I do this, will you help me?" And your response was, "It's about time."
Absolutely. It was pretty quick where I could see the frustration of the guidelines that you had to follow, and it's like, why don't you do this for yourself?
Yeah.
You have free range, and you can use your, free to express your creativity in your products, and I saw that you had it all, so do it.
Yeah. So speaking of just do it, you transition out of well, you're doing Apex surface protection. Well, you're doing Apex auto detailing. Then you do Apex surface protection, and then you do auction car reconditioning, and now you're semi-retired. So what? How does one like you started doing chemical? You were doing chemicals before I was doing chemicals. You were working with, I think, Art to Shine or something like that, and then I started doing chemicals, and then you really started doing chemicals. Like what was the process in that?
Well, I wanted to start with protectants, and I wanted to get on the other side of the curtain when it comes to chemistry. I never did well chemistry in school. I wish I would have, because it's so fascinating, and I had such a good time with it. But I wanted to see that end of it, and I did. I saw through. I had a great time, um, and it really opened my eyes to a lot of good things and bad things about the industry. And I enjoyed myself. I really did. And again, I had connections with a lot of people that was life changing, and I'll never forget. And was a great page of my life. Um, but there are some things that linger over the industry that I personally can't live with. And locally, I had a competitor that gave me an offer that I couldn't refuse. So I took that exit, or that off ramp. And there's so many other things I want to do yet, while I physically can. I try to keep
Yeah.
myself healthy and in good shape, and hopefully I have many years to try different things. And um, I definitely have plans to.
Well, I know that you definitely enjoy travel. That's one of the things that I admire about you, is that uh, you do have that ability to just kind of like, you know what, I'm taking 2 weeks. See ya, bang, gone. And and I wish that I could do that. I wish that I could.
Absolutely. I mean, one of these days, I would like to get to a point where I could just there are so many places in this country and beyond that I would like to see. I would like to see Peru, Brazil. I'd like to see Egypt and the pyramids. I think you and I have talked just recently about older and ancient civilizations and what they were capable of, and that fascinates me,
Yeah.
to try and figure out where we actually came from.
Hmm,
But yeah, that
that's
and
pretty
it
cool.
just oh, definitely. I'd love to visit Oslo, Bergen, um, in Norway, and jump across to Finland, and maybe even Poland. There's just so many places I would like to see on this rock we live on before I can't,
Um,
before I'm just too old and not physically able to enjoy it.
so one thing that we so Phoenix has exploded in Australia. I think we might be one of the most popular coatings in Australia. Um,
Australia is just an incredible culture of car nuts, is
yeah,
the
they
best way
really
to put it.
are. They are car nuts for
I
sure.
love it. I love it.
And
Such great people I've met.
so I have an incredible distributor. He was on my show. He was my last show, or no, maybe Eddie. Oh, no, Eddie and Jamie were my last show. So he was 2 episodes ago. My distributor from Australia, Ahmed from Detail Planet, and he's been trying to replicate the MTE in Australia. So he wants to do like basically a detailer summit in Australia, which is actually how he found out about me. He found out about me through his detailer summit. My old distributor, who got out of the game, went to the summit and was just like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Phoenix E.O.D? There's stuff. Don't sleep on it." Anyway, I want to go to one of his MTEs, and what I really want to do is I want to take my dad with me, because my dad has been so supportive of the move out here to northwestern PA / northeastern Ohio. Just been really, he's been involved in the company. I've actually made him my CFO, because he's infinitely smarter than I am, especially when it comes to finances. So he is part of the company. My nephew is part of the company. Anyway, sidetracked quickly. I want to go to Australia for 1 week. I want to go to I want to go to the Detailer Summit in Australia. Then I want to puddle jump over to New Zealand and take my dad fly fishing for a week in New Zealand. So that's my goal. My goal is either next year or 2028. I'm taking my dad to Australia to go to the MTE Australia and then do fly fishing in New Zealand. Those are
Do it.
two really, really big checks off of my bucket list. The other two would be Ireland. I have to go and visit the motherland And then I also really, really want to see Iceland because I hear like the most incredible imagery of all time exists in Iceland. And you can see volcanoes and you can see ice and you can see everything. The Northern Lights, just those are my big three.
Absolutely. Yep. I would add Japan, and I mean, there's just so many places
Oh, sure. I'm just
gotta
saying, if
see
I
and
like,
experience.
it's just like, hey, man, you have limited time. These are the, you get to pick three. Those are the top three. But is there a list of 20? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, detail with AK, man. You got some great questions, and I hope to get to all of them. Um, I personally like Scrabble. I do. Nate, where can I tell you to buy the best Scrabble? First of all, where are you located? Because I don't think Scrabble exists everywhere.
That's my neck of the woods.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I'm from everywhere. And my dad was
Amish
a Marine.
territory.
We moved every 2 years, and I didn't learn about Scrabble until I moved to New Jersey. So, um, I will tell you the key to a great Scrapple is thin and crispy. So the big fat slices, they get real mushy and it's a texture thing and it's kind of gross. But if you get it cut thin and have them fry it up real good, oh man,
And do you
tasty.
just eat it just so, or do you put molasses or ketchup on it?
Whatever, I can eat it just so, but ketchup is if
Yeah.
it's in a sandwich, I put ketchup on it. Ketchup, egg, and cheese on a Scrapple, on a brioche bun. Heck yeah, bro.
Yep.
Oh, you don't know what's in it. Oh, I know what's in it, and I don't care because it tastes delicious. And that is pretty much my MO for everything. I don't care as long as it's good. Never even heard of Scrapple. So yeah, so definitely, oh yeah, close to Newark, Delaware. Yeah, so he's definitely in the heart of Scrapple country.
Yep.
And Ryan, that would be the reason why you're not. I think I
Yeah,
just said
it's
to Ryan
definitely
that.
a staple in a Pennsylvania Dutch breakfast for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's like basically think of what you know of how a hot dog is made, and it's worse.
Oh, yeah, bird's beak, feet, chicken's feet, yeah, anything that they need to fill to grind
Yeah,
up.
yeah. Just grind everything that's left over. Everything that's left over gets made into Scrabble.
No waste.
Whatever. Yeah, it's good. It's good. All right. I derail so quickly. All right. I am in need of a new 1 inch, 3 inch polisher. What do you recommend, Brian?
1 inch, well, for a 1 inch, the Adams has a 1 inch polisher that is, I think I've had it for at least 6, 7 years now, and I'll have to break it back out and show that it still works. But for a 3 inch, the new bar jack polisher is cordless, brushless, smooth, quiet. You can use the 3 inch for headlight restorations, bumper, squeeze it into
Sounded like you
tight
were describing
spaces.
a girl. Anyway, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Smooth,
Yeah, absolutely. And you can
quiet.
put you could put you could turn it from the 3 inch to a 4 inch by putting a backing plate. It's a hook and loop extension, and you could put a bigger pad on it. But absolutely, great price too. Under $200.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Okay. So, I got more. Next one. Hide. Check. Um, Brian, I received the Immortal ceramic spray today. Do you have any tips for a proper application? Have we done Immortal on No Direction Detail? I don't think
That's
we have.
we should cover that more. I think
We
it was
should
on the
cover it.
list. It was
I
it
think it
was
was
on
on
the
the list.
list.
Yeah, because I mean, you can use it as an interior, like a Scotch guard on crack. You can put it. I mean, you can put Immortal everywhere. So anyway, what is your proper? Do you like to spray it directly into a microfiber or a block, or do you like to spray it directly on the surface?
I like to spray into. So I normally favor the micro suede applicators, but for that I will spray into a. I have these yellow foam pads, real thick ones, and I'll spray into that, and I'll put it on in circular motions. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how it goes on. You don't have to do it crisscross pattern. Just get it on there any way you can. The trick with that one is to leave it on long enough. Don't be too eager to wipe it off. You can leave Immortal on. I mean, I've gotten phone calls. I've gotten customers that have come in, interrupted me, and I've come back, and I didn't have a hard time at all wiping it off. And it actually seemed to perform better the longer I kept it on there. And trying to find the sweet spot in your environment with the heat, humidity, temperature to leave it on there without it giving you a hard time. That's the key.
Okay.
But preparation, getting that paint ready for it. You don't have to give it a paint correction, but just decon it. Use a cleaner polish by hand if you have to. That helps to get any of that road film or any old leftover protectant like a wax or a polymer sealant, so you can start from scratch and give Immortal a chance to anchor onto that paint, that naked paint.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. I have to answer this question. I think he's doing great. He and I, he's one of those guys that you don't hear from for a long time. And so I'll just call him up and I'll be like, hey man, how you doing? How you making out? And his answer is always the same. He's doing really, really good. It was a slow time for detailers, and that was universal. I mean, I talked to all of my detailing friends, and they were all just like, "Yeah, it's been a little bit slow. The economy is kind of weird right now. It's been weird. When we were expecting all kinds of amazing changes, and then all of a sudden we find ourselves in a war with oil. So, unfortunately, oil dictates everything. I mean, you can just say when the price of fuel goes up, everything goes up because everything is run by fuel. You need to have trucks that bring whatever to stores and all of that stuff. So when price of petroleum goes up, everything goes up. And unfortunately, you can fix everything that you want to fix in the economy, but if fuel goes up, the economy's not getting better. So the reason why I went down that rabbit hole is he obviously was concerned that business was slow. I mean, detailing is a luxury, right? Do I want to have
It's
my
a
car
want. It's a not need.
Yeah.
I mean,
do I want to wash my car and have it cleaned up real nice, or do I want to put food on the table? Boop, boop. So that was a concern for his. And so the last time that I talked to him, he said, I'm going to basically, I hired a new web designer and we're going to focus on local traffic. I'm going to focus on my local business and try to get people, he's like, I'm going to operate like back in the day when I was living in Richmond, there's it has a much bigger crowd of people in a major city versus where he lives now. And so he's like, I'm just going to refocus on advertising locally and doing local business and so on and so forth. Now, probably what I'm not supposed to tell all of you wonderful people is he's got an amazing family and he's got an amazing wife and he's got this piece of property is incredible. And I can tell you right from being back here in Northwestern PA, every morning I sit out on my porch and drink a cup of coffee, and there's not another house in sight. There's not another person in sight. There's not another car in sight. It's just serenity. And I mean, I have never felt healthier. Just knowing peace. And I imagine that is exactly what Phil is experiencing. He's got this incredible piece of property, and it's got a lake on it. And I mean, he's got critters and you can hear the peepers and you can hear the frogs and you can hear all that stuff. So I know that he was also he and his wife are focusing on off-roading a lot. And I know that that's a big passion of his. So To answer your question, although I haven't spoken to him in a couple of months, I can probably tell you, yeah, he is doing great, and I don't think that he needs YouTube. From what you were telling me, Brian, and from what Papa Smurf was telling me, the metrics with YouTube is all kinds of screwy, and they pay differently now, and they don't, like, what is the real motivation for continuing to do YouTube videos if you're not in it for the community?
Oh,
And like,
you have to absolutely love it and love the connect. For me, it's keeping the connection with everybody out there.
the
I did
Publishers
not want
Corner
to
is not
lose that.
monetized. It's not monetized. I do, and half the videos that I do make says this video is not eligible for monetization because I do the mental floss, and I'm always showing somebody's Instagram feed or something like that. And as soon as I do that, it goes, this video is not eligible for monetization. And I go, I don't care. Like, that's not why we're doing this. We're not doing it for putting money in my pocket. We're doing this because I'm trying to make a connection with you people and my friends, and being able to talk to. Let me run my mouth for 2 hours on a Saturday night. Anyway, sorry. Soapbox. What else we got? Next one. We did that. And we did that. And what is this? What does it say? Aaron, will you and Brian talk about how Brian had to start over with a new YouTube channel? Also, Brian, why does Brian wear smoked lenses to help with his health, or is that just personal? Is that just, dark and mysterious Brian Spitler with his smoky glasses? Hello, ladies. I'm Brian Spitler.
So I suffer from the migraines that include the aura. So how they start is when there's a flicker of light or something, which is normally how it triggers my migraines anyways. You can let me know out there if you guys suffer through that. An aura starts in one corner of my eye. I could see it all the way out here, and it starts as like a sparkler has been, right?
Yeah.
And it slowly moves to the center of my vision until there's a point where I can't see what's in front of me. So I got to bury my head in a pillow, wait for it to move to the other side. And during that period, it can take anywhere up from an hour to two. My son gets them, and as well. And if it could take up to 2 hours for that to pass and go from one side to the other, and you feel nauseous during that period. But when they pass, the pain that comes and follows after that for about 6, 8, 10 hours is like somebody sticking a screwdriver in your head and just twisting and turning. Yeah. So I do everything, including medications and controlling the amount of light that's flashing and sunlight and.
Now it's been a great while since I've had my last migraine, but when I was younger, I used to get migraines all the time, and I know exactly what you're talking. Like the aura, it's just like you can just see star light on the outside. But for me, so as soon as I started seeing it, I had 20 minutes to get ibuprofen on board. If I did not get ibuprofen on board, I just the whole thing blinds you, and then you just crash, and you're in so much pain, and you can't breathe, you can't move.
Well, so I now have come across one that they give me that you put it under your tongue, and it just dissolves under your tongue, and it doesn't make it go away, but it stops it from getting worse, and I'm very thankful for that. But just combining everything that I can do to head them off it's more important than the medication for me.
Hey, detailing with AK. Appreciate your service. Thank you very much.
There was another question within that. Did you have another question? I'm
sure he did. I'm really terrible at my job. I'm sure he did. They gave me a question. What did I say? I said, oh, yeah. The question was, Aaron, will you and Brian talk about how Brian had to start over with a new YouTube channel?
Oh, sure. That's I covered that one. That's an easy. So handing the business over to my son, I wanted to also hand over the channel, which is the same name, and then he could add his own content at some point, which he's working on now. getting used to that. And I wanted to start something fresh with the auction cars. So that's kind of that's why I did that. He has that channel now, the channel name anyway, and the presence, and he can take over whenever he wants to.
So he's not really actively throwing out videos.
No, he actually is building content and polishing his skills. He has a lot of content. None have been published yet.
Okay.
What he does not enjoy is the editing part of it. And he's getting better at that. And there's always newer and newer software that helps and makes that easier. I just told him to use what I use. I can upload my videos in like 10, 15 minutes now. So it's
I'm aware. I'm aware of your skills. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand, and you show off, and you go like, "Oh, so easy," and I'm just like, "Yeah, okay, cool." That's a good question. So I'm going to throw this out there, and you can say whatever you want to say about it. But Don Delp would like to know: is Brian's son someday going to want to take over the BC line?
So that would be impossible because what was purchased beyond the formula was my ability also to go back and become a competitor again because it was purchased by somebody local.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
It was basically
it's a non-compete.
Yeah,
it's
that's
kind
right.
of non-compete. Yeah, all right. So can he do his own stuff with
That
maybe
he can under a different name, absolutely, with me helping and guiding his way through it. Absolutely. And
All right,
maybe
so
a possibility.
I'm reading you can treat migraines. They tried a non-evasive, non-medication treatment, put ice water on cotton and run it up and down the spine for once a minute for 15 minutes, once a day or so, and it really worked for this person.
Up and down the spine, full length, or the upper part of the spine?
It just says put ice water on cotton and run it up and down the spine. So I'm going to assume the entire length of the spine, from coccyx to what is it? This is okay. You were an EMS for 15 years. Coccyx to
Surf.
I know this is the axis. But there's a thorax and the lumbar and I forget. Who cares? It's been almost.
Well, thank you. I will try absolutely anything to prevent them. So,
yeah,
much appreciated.
Yeah. All right, next one. Dun dun dun. By the way, I'm going to tell you, if your son ever did want to start his own product line, I would slap him. This is the most oversaturated industry on the planet, and I mean, like, it is. When you got out of the game, and I'm glad that you got out of the game, but two, when you and I behind the scenes, we would talk about stuff, and a lot of your struggles, for lack of a better word, I'm just using the word struggles, but they weren't struggles, they were issues. A lot of your issues, you were doing like 3 full-time jobs at the time. You were doing a chemical company, you were doing the detailing, you were doing the YouTube, and then you transitioned into auction car reconditioning. Like, I'm like, this guy is doing 3 full-time jobs, and I only have 1 full-time job, and it takes everything to just do Phoenix. And here you are pulling off 3. And when you got out of it, I was like, yeah, I get it. I understand. I understand why you got out of this one.
Yeah, there were many reasons, but the most important one is that business deserved 100% of my attention, and I just could not. I could not do it. To do it right, it deserves all of you, and I couldn't do it. Yeah. And if I can't do something right, I'm not going to do it at all.
Yeah, for sure. Again, it goes back to our Smurf. You're not on the show, Smurf. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Anyway, um, I lost my train of thought. I just completely lost my train of thought when I saw Smurf. Smurf just drove all of my thoughts out of my head. Anyway, the next one. Oh, we already did that one. All right, next one. In a few months, my wife is going to be getting her dad's 2025 expedition. Will one bottle of Phoenix Chronos graphene coating be enough to coat it? If you don't follow Ivan's apply it thin philosophy, I don't follow Ivan's apply it thin philosophy.
Yeah, and aren't your bottles 100 ml bottles, Aaron?
What's that?
Aren't your
I had three sizes: 30 milliliters,
oh
50 milliliters, and 100 milliliters.
yeah, get the 50 or 100, and you'll have
Okay.
some left over to do the door jams, the wheels, the glass, and maybe another project.
Let's get this clear. Papa Smurf is only here for Brian. Okay. All right. Yeah. Shots fired. Got it. All right. Hold on. All right. This is getting out of control and it's getting out of hand, and I'm gonna have to rein in. Rick's Media. I sent you a link to the show, Dingus. If you want to pop in, pop in. You still need to just besmirch me in the comment section, you coward. Anyway, all right, back to the regular broadcast. Hey, I made this guy a producer. All right, I made this guy a producer, right? Because I needed help, like getting getting guests and promotions and things of that nature, right? And I give him full access to all things Phoenix and all things the corner, and he's done some amazing things. Like he was behind the new logo and stuff like that, right? So Rick has been an exceptional friend, and I. And I know that he cares a lot about Phoenix. Maybe not so much me, but I know that he cares a lot about Phoenix. And so I was like, hey, why don't you be a producer? And then all of a sudden he's just like, oh, well, Ahmed won't come on your show unless I'm on your show. And I need to. And I was just like, oh, okay. All right, fine. Like, so, okay, you're the producer. You're not supposed to be on the show. I did say that once, but I mean, at the same time, the tooth guy, Gary, he was a producer on the Howard Stern show, and he was on the show every single day. Just because I say horrible, mean things, Rick, doesn't mean you're supposed to take it personally. You're not supposed to listen to me. Nobody listens to me. What are you talking about? That's his, yeah, yeah. So, end of soapbox number 2. So, all right. So 50 milliliter bottle of Chronos graphene will be more than enough for a 2025 expedition, correct?
Yes, I would get the 100. The 50 should do it. Get the 100 and you'll be able to, again, do the door jams and anything else you want, plus have some left over for your motorcycle, jet ski.
Yeah.
Maybe
I mean, as my dad would say, better to have it, not need it, than to need it, not have it. There you go. Hope that answers your question. Detailing with AK.
I mean, it's something to keep mindful of is whatever media you use to get the product on there. If you use something that really absorbs a lot of the product, maybe 100 would be a better idea.
Okay. All right. And then I have my 3. I don't know what your 3 would be. It said, if someone were to ask what 3 non-coating products of Phoenix E.O.D should everyone try? Honestly, what put me on the map, I think, is my type.
Glossum wax?
Glossum wax I love Glossum wax. I don't know if you're into waxes, absolutely. I don't know, he just asked about, I think he was the one that just asked about the ceramic coating. So I would not mix waxes and polyxylazine. They don't live well together. Waxes, because of their lifespan and the way that polyxylazine is porous, waxes will get into those pores, and then when the wax finally fails, it's going to look really, really funky, and you're going to have to do a decon to get it all out. So, um, um, I would say for me, my top three are necessities, if you will, would be the Titan hybrid detail. It's my flagship. I love it. When I use it, it still, 5 years later, it still makes me giddy using Titan. I put, the next day I put my hand on, and it just feels like a force field on the car. I'm very prideful of Apex Auto Wash. I love the banter between me and Pan the organizer when it comes to Apex, because he was talking about how for the longest time CarPro Reset was the greatest product on the planet as far as soaps are concerned, but we're just splitting hairs with Apex Auto Wash. We're just splitting hairs, and CarPro Reset is just a little bit better. And he did that for years, even though I changed the formula 3 times and we were clearly better than CarPro Reset. But look at the price tag. If we're just splitting hairs and CarPro Reset is $30 more a gallon, I think I'm going to go Apex. Fred's in the house. Fred, we just were talking about you a little bit ago.
Hey, Fred.
I'm coming to see you in September, so make sure that you have one of those amazing Chicago pizza joints ready to rock and or roll. Nate, about the Raspberry set, that was supposed to be a 4th of July release, but it epically failed. And now that we are in Ohio and we are up and running in Ohio, and I have minions that work for me on a regular basis now, it is awesome. I love having employees. I didn't think I was going to like having a lot of employees. I had, back in New Jersey, I had per diems, or per diems. Like, hey, I need you to come into the warehouse. We have a big order to deal with, so on and so forth. But now we can afford to have full timers, and it's fun.
I'm glad you have the help you deserve.
Thank you.
It's about time.
And it's like I get to be 2 of me. It's wonderful. You guys can go fill the orders. I'm going to go over here and play with some soap. And so I'm planning on. I'm going to probably do another holiday release, because I just like holidays. I'm going to do the holiday release for the raspberry soap, and I'm also going to do. We have that spray sealant that you and I were playing with, Brian. You remember the green spray sealant? So I think I'm going to launch that for Thanksgiving as well, and it's pretty exciting. And then, lastly but not least, Typhon, my interior cleaner, I think is, in my opinion, it is the best interior cleaner that is out there, and especially that we partnered up with BioBombs, and you dropped a little mini bomb into the Typhon. This stuff is phenomenal, and it's not just a car product. I had a very sick dog that last year we had to put down due to cancer, and that cancer bled everywhere, and it caused other problems. And Typhon handled all of it amazingly. So my top 3: Titan, Apex, Typhon. Those are my 3. What are your picks?
I would have to go with the Papa Cut Fab Finish and the Gloss and Wax for
Spoken
non-ceramic
like
product.
a true detailer. I appreciate that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks, Brian. We're an hour and 15 minutes into this thing, and I am completely off script. Nope.
No direction.
Yeah, no direction. Can I just say, that is my absolute favorite. When you and I are in the studio together, we have such a good time.
Sometimes it can get heated, but for the most part,
It's such a good time.
lots of laughs. Yeah.
We laugh at each other all the time.
We'll get back to that again.
Well, not only that, but it's just the stuff that's off camera too. It's just hysterical. One of my favorite things is making you laugh. I love it. Yeah. No direction. Where are we going to go? All right, let's see here. review these notes real quick. When did being a good detail shop stop being enough and suddenly everybody had to become a content creator? That's a question that Smurf and I have had a couple of times. Is the crest of being an influencer over? I feel like people are a lot more skeptical of influencers. I think that
it depends on what your intent is. My intent when I got into it is a lot different than a lot of them that are out there and getting into it these days. The intent I have on to keep creating. If you notice that what I put out there, there's some videos that do really well. There's some that I know are going to get hardly any views. But to me, it's just as important to get those out there because I know it's going to help the one or two or three people. If it helps, those one or two or three people, it just that makes my day. And then again, just the connection I have with a lot of people out there. But that's me. Depends on what you're creating content for.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean that bubble has burst a long time ago, and if you're still doing it, those are the people that love what they do.
yeah.
If you
But
still do it and you're not complaining about it,
I
and
think
not
it's also one of
chasing the dollar while doing it.
yeah, but that's where I was just about to go. I think that was one of the reasons why you survived very, very nicely when you launched your product line. Is that you never compared your product line to anybody else's. Like if you were doing a product review or if you were doing, a best of or something of that nature, you never compared the BC line, and that really, really, really kept your integrity. And I think that people that's one of the reasons why your channel has always done so well is that people believe what you say, and there's a trust that you have built with your audience, and so you can do a product review of a BC line like, hey, today we're going to talk about BC3, blah 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 blah. But you
To
never
me, it was
compared it
important.
to anything else.
Yeah, to me, it was important to not stop showing other tools and products because even though I had my own stuff out, I still enjoyed other products and tools. And if you stop using all of them and just crawl into a small hole with your own products, you'll never experience new things and keep up with new products, new materials, new raw materials. So that was very important.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you threaded that seamlessly, and I always admired you for that. I was like, that guy. Like again,
Now
my
that makes me a
entire
bad businessman because a good businessman or business person would have drilled every single day and every single minute their product line. That's what a good business person would have
I
done.
know I'm the worst.
Owning a company.
I am the worst at promoting my own stuff. I am. I don't know. Again, this podcast isn't about. It's not about selling products. This podcast is about community and connecting. And I don't know. Can I share what percentages of EOD business is US and what is Australian? I cannot. And the reason why I cannot is because I don't know. That's why I hired a CFO, because I don't do numbers all that great. I have a bookkeeper, I have an accountant, and now I have a CFO. I will say this though. Definitely sell. I sell to Australia more than anybody else. Australia is the kitty right now. All right. So if I only had the success of the United States that I have in Australia, I would be a tycoon. But I don't. And the question is, well, why are we so successful in Australia? And the answer is I don't know. I think it's Ahmed and his passion for Phoenix. I mean, I talked to him at length. I've met his wife. I've met his kids. we're very dear friends, and he is truly become a brother, and that energy and passion for Phoenix shows in Australia. And like you touched on earlier, Australians are fanatics, and once they get a hold of something, they're like, yeah, I got. So he also is friends with a couple of like really big TikTok influencers over there, and they love the product.
We
Yes, they
often
would.
talk about
Yes,
some
they
of
would.
the territories and countries that have incredible car cultures that you would be shocked have them. And yeah, Australia, India is another one, believe it or not.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I don't. Unfortunately, I don't know anybody in India, so it would be a wonderful. I also Saudi Arabia, from what I understand, like
Yep.
Dubai. They say that
Yep.
that is like the hottest car market on the planet is
Mhm.
Dubai. But that'd be something. So anyway, I don't know percentages because I don't handle the numbers, but I can tell you as far as orders are concerned, it's it's easily 3 to 1, if not more. Thor does a great job of pushing products, and I know that we're going to be doing a big graphene campaign next week. I think is when Jamie said we're going to do a graphene campaign. Um, so I do very well. I do well in the States. I just don't do nearly as well as Australia. I'm thinking I might have to get a summer home in Australia, because these Pennsylvania winters are so much fun.
Anywhere warm, I will follow.
So I got Apex Titan Typhon, Power Cut. I didn't hear the last one. It was a wax. Glossum. Glossum is the wax. I love Glossum wax. I think waxes, to me, I like waxes more than I like ceramics. And maybe it's nostalgia. It's probably nostalgia, but I used to remember washing and waxing my dad's car with him when I was a kid. You remember the old the turtle wax can, and it had the plastic lid, and then inside the plastic lid it had that yellow sponge, and you could get it all loaded up, and then you would do the Mr. Miyagi wax on, wax off stuff with the. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it. You're hired. Um, so waxes for me have always carried like a real love affair, and gloss and wax, I wanted to replicate that and have it easy to use. um, I just think you get a deeper gloss and a warmer gloss with a wax than you do with a coating. What do you think, Brian?
Yeah, absolutely. And a good Montana wax to me is a favorite, especially on a single stage classic antique car.
Yeah.
Uh, and I use polymer sealants and waxes more than I do coatings at this point.
Okay. All right. Awesome. Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, I'm working with the wax. I did my stepson's Mercedes, and we did the gloss meter, and it was like it started out as like an 86, and I have the proof on my phone. Started out as an 86, and then I did fab polish on the whole car using a polishing pad. Not super aggressive, but it was a polishing pad. And then I went over. Buff and Shine makes it's called the Ultimate Finishing Pad. I think it's what it's called. It's either Final Finishing Pad or Ultimate Finishing Pad, but it's a red pad, and it is goofy soft. And I used that with gloss and wax, and we got a gloss meter reading when I was all done at 102.
Yeah, similar
So,
to the Car Pro gloss pads, the white ones, they are incredibly soft. Yeah, you can get you're practically jeweling at that point.
all right, Fred. Yeah, Fred, dude, you were one of my most watched shows, so we have to get you back on, and hopefully we can do it before, or maybe we can do it after the birthday show in Chicago, so that you and I can talk about all the cool things that we did. That's a great idea. Mr. Producer, if you're still in the chat room, line up Fred for after September 21st. We're going to have Fred on and we're going to talk pizza. All right, sorry. I get distracted easily. Shiny baubles, objects. Sorry. I think it looks like we got through all the starred questions. I'm scrolling through here real fast for anything else. Waiting on the raspberry scent. Yeah. All right. Okay. Moving on. All right. There's plenty for everyone. There's something you said years ago that struck me. Honestly, it's one of the reasons I wanted that phrase for tonight's thumbnail. Where does that come from? Where does this mentality of, I had a friend of mine who was a detailer who literally said, I have spent 20 years perfecting my technique. I am not sharing that with anybody.
Well, it's easy. I like to work with they're supposed to be competitors in my field, in my neighborhood, in my area, and rather than shut them out, degrade them, bring them down, I like to lift all of us up and we work together. So that's where that term was coined, I guess, however you want to say it, because there is enough work to go around for everybody. You don't, no matter how many pop up in the neighborhood, the quality of your work is what speaks volume for you. So, if you're having a problem bringing in work or volume, that's something in your own house that you have to fix. You don't need to blame it on anybody else. So I never blamed anybody else. I always worked with all the companies around me, all the detailers that wanted to learn. I gave polishers to young local detailers that were just starting out, who now are doing great, and they would be classified as strong competitors. And I helped them get there.
Brian Mayhall,
Yep.
you turned that kid into a juggernaut.
He now manages another detailing shop, as far as I know. Yeah. Still using Phoenix E.O.D.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Great kid, great talent. Wish him the best.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, and not to keep blowing smoke up your butt, but he had a pretty awesome mentor for years. So how could he not be a great detailer? Like you and your boy and flock of seagulls. Yep, you're best in the business. No offense to anybody else, but
I could never take credit for that. I could point and give pointers and advice. They have to do the work. They have to do the actual work. And those that have it within them, they get it done. And I would never take credit for that.
Take credit for what? Teaching two young men like how to be perfect in their trade?
You have to have it in you. I mean, there's a lot of people that you can coach until you're blue in the face, and they're just not going to get it. They're not going to be able to.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, flock of seagulls definitely has the eye of the tiger, and I've seen that time and time again. He definitely is hungry. And the last question in this particular segment is. Why does the industry seem to have a tough time believing that?
Believing
that there's enough for everyone. I can see a lot of people cutting each other down, and
one word.
Go ahead.
Ego. Everybody's got an ego. Just within the last 2 days on my feed, social media, especially Facebook. Wow, the egos. I mean, I don't know what it is. Is it full moon? I don't know what it is, but it's just wow. Full of themselves, egos, egotistical maniacs.
Yeah,
that's why.
So some asshat on YouTube commented in on one of Papa Smurf's videos where he was just like, why do you stop embarrassing yourself, stop acting like an influencer. And Smurf was just like, hey man, I'm just putting out content to share with people. Like, I'm just trying to share my knowledge with somebody else. Why do you gotta be negative like that? Why do you gotta come in there for no reason? Like, people like myself and you, and we're just putting ourselves out there. If you don't like the content, don't watch the content. But do you have to make a snarky little comment about, quit embarrassing yourself?
Well, I mean, as a creator, you're going to deal with that every time you put out content, or every day, every time you put yourself out there. You're going to have to deal with that. You're going to have, I don't know, thick skin, whatever the word is.
Yeah.
You're going to have to be able to deal with that. People live for it, really, to bring you down.
Control,
Jealousy, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I mean, my old postman, back in Jersey, he'd like to enter into chat rooms and just say horrible things to get people wound up. Like, like Hitler wasn't wrong, or Hitler wasn't wrong, prove me wrong. That kind of just absurdity, just saying horrible things to just, and he physically enjoyed getting people wound up and riled up, and how dare you say something like that, Mark? Be kind. I'm in a better place. I'm at peace. I am loving life like I've never thought I could love life. So, ain't got time for that.
Nope. Life is too short for that. That's I just skip right over it.
All right. So, although that you were encouraging me for years, you knew me before Phoenix existed. When I told you what I was doing, what did you actually think? Horseman number one.
When
I came to you and I said, hey, I think it was in March. It might have been April. It was either March or April of 2021. I said to you, hey, if I actually do this, what do you think?
It's about freaking time. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
The hell's taking you so long?
What did you think that I got right out of the gate? We're going back 5 years.
Well, you knew exactly how to tackle it. I mean, doing it for somebody else, and then transforming it, doing it for yourself. You knew how to get things. You knew how to get the ball rolling and get your company up and running a lot better than I did when it comes to chemicals. That was a whole new chapter for me, and I had to learn that on the fly. You had a head start, and I just knew you would do fantastic.
And I love the fact that we were able to collaborate. We collaborated on a lot of your chemicals, and then you helped me with a lot of my chemicals. And that was wild. That again, this whole mentality of there's plenty for everyone, and taking it one step further to your comment about ego. Neither one of us had egos with each other. Like, I really truly felt that we were friends, helping each other just be the best that we could possibly be. And selfishly, I could say, I think that you carried a lot more of the weight than I did, because you had that umpteen years of established integrity with the audience. And so when you came out in support of me, it gave me immediate, what is not the word isn't validation. It gave me immediate credibility. Your endorsement gave Phoenix immediate credibility.
Well, we really didn't have time to think of each other as competitors, really, even if We weren't friends because we were both learning on the fly and having a damn good time doing it, and we had to concentrate on that rather than intermediate things like being jealous or whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Now, if you know, if we're being completely bluntly honest with each other, I think you should have slapped me in the head and said, "Buy a food truck," because
a
this
taco
has been
van.
this has been insane. This chemical company is just madness. Supply chain, like first of all, who starts a business right out of COVID? Right. So, I mean, we're talking, we're talking July of 2021. We're starting a company. Supply chains are different. The Amazon business model is completely wrecked. Like, there
Shipping.
was shipping. I couldn't get. Remember all of those ships that were off the coast of California and Florida that didn't have a port, so you couldn't get anything. Like, oh, shut up while you're ahead, Eric.
Yeah.
Don't
And
get
then
me
when they
ready to.
finally got the port, we had to wait for the trucking to get it
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
across the country. Crazy.
I don't like any of these prompts. Huh. Yeah, I don't like any of these prompts. But at least you guys hope all is well. Thanks. Dude, I haven't talked to Buddha in a million years. Good to see you, guy. There's a couple of people that used to be here in the chat rooms that we don't see anymore, and it makes me sad. And like Silverado, I haven't seen him in decades. And then there's Hawaii Tim. I haven't seen him. I haven't seen. I don't think I've seen Titan Tim since he got married. So that tells you something. His priorities have definitely shifted. Which it should. It should. He's a newly married man,
Well,
so it should shift.
and also, you touched upon all the different content creators out there now. There are different perspectives for individuals to jump to and see through, which is completely, I would recommend that, soak up as much information about whatever you're into and then make a decision on it. So their attention goes way beyond us at that point. So no problem
It's
at all.
great. Detailing with AK, that's fantastic. I'm glad. Um, it crushed a lot of businesses. It crushed a lot of families. It crushed a lot of people. And, after the whole Fauci files got released, I mean, we don't try to get political here on the corner, but we're talking about. And you know what? Here's my other. I'm just gonna say. I don't even care. I'm gonna say it. Fine, he got pardoned in the United States, but what he did was global. And so put him on the world stage and see if he doesn't go. You know what I mean? Like the Nazis at Nuremberg. Let's do that because this guy killed millions and millions of people. Like, when you think about it, he killed more people than Hitler. Wrap your head around that, kids. Wrap your head around that. He killed more people than Hitler. Gain of function research out of the Wuhan clinic. Good. All right, moving on. La 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 la. Hey, they want to know: do you still enjoy giving classes, and are you going to continue carrying them?
Well, actually, I do coach it's a huge part of what I do now. I'm into a lot of different things, but coaching detailers from their own companies, dealerships, you name it. I still do that a lot. I just
Dude,
don't.
I have
I,
some really great friends that I am still friends with. Like you, Dr. Fred, for example. I met Dr. Fred at your class. I've
yep.
been to 7 of your classes. I've learned every single time I have learned from going to your classes, and I've done it 7 times. So not only have I met lifelong friends at your classes, but I have lifelong knowledge because of your classes. So,
The only difference is instead of having 10 to 20 people at my shop consulting, I travel, so I do it at their location.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I remember. You did do that. Travel. That's exciting. Having a local celebrity fly all over the country to give seminars and
Wow.
what? Yeah, just that. Yeah. Okay. Brush it off. Oh, that's no big deal. I get it. All right. What else? What else we got? We're coming on. We're coming on. Hey, Mr. Producer, is Mr. Producer still in the house? I don't know. He doesn't. After I rebuked him, he stopped talking. We're supposed to give something away, and I can't remember if we are giving away a Thor. I think we're giving away yeah. All right. So here's the question: for a Thor sponsor, do I have to read the Thor? Do I have to read the Thor? Read again for this because we are sponsored by Thor, built on quality. Blah 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 blah. The Corner, save 10%. House of Rag, built on quality. Thank you, Jamie and Eddie and everybody at Thor. Now, okay, yeah. So, all right, for a Freebird towel set, how many times has Brian Spitler been the feature on the Corner? Not just Curmudgeon's Corner or the Corner, whatever. How many times has Brian been the feature? Not necessarily appeared, because I think that you've done a couple of cameos. But how many times has Brian appeared on the Corner or been featured on the Corner? Go. And you get and because of Thor, built on quality, you will get a Freebird towel set. 5. Incorrect. Sorry. Good try, Keith. And you also got a gift card already, so you're disqualified. 15, 10, 6. Nope. Hey, Corey, it's about time you showed up. 7, close. Keep going. 6 is good, but not quite. 17, really? 17 would be an incredible amount. 20. All right. Oh, wait. There it is. Corey got it. That is correct. Corey, he has been on the show 3 times, not counting any of the pay it forward, Horsemen specials and stuff like that. He has been featured guest at 3 of those. And as a matter of fact, he was the first in person because you and I did it in my office, sitting side by side with each other.
That's right. Yep.
That was a lot of fun. That was back in the day when we were mixing chemicals in New Jersey together.
Yep.
So, Corey, send me an email to remind me that I have to remind Jamie to send you a towel set.
Hell, that was before a lot of the equipment. We were using an old wooden spoon to churn it.
Yeah, we were. A drill. We were using a Milwaukee drill.
We had a boat motor and propeller in there mixing.
Yeah. Now we're all big today. Hey, speaking of which, so the plantation that I live on is pretty incredible. I'll send you pictures, but if you ever want to come out here and just, I mean, your house is pretty awesome too. You have that ginormous lake. Your house might be better than mine. I really like your farmhouse. I do. I like it. I like the lake. All right, never mind. But if you ever want to come out and visit, you're welcome to it. But your house,
absolutely,
as many times as he wants. Well, you got home just in time, Corey, to clean up. So he gets a Freebird towel set or towel bag of towels. That's what it is. Bag of towels. All right, send me an email because I will forget. Just ask everybody who's ever won anything on the show. How far am I from New Philadelphia, Ohio? Are you, Aaron? I don't know. I'm all right. So I am 20 minutes outside of Boardman, Ohio, which is about an hour south of Cleveland, if that helps. But I don't know where New Philadelphia, Ohio is. Yeah, it's true. Plantation is probably not the right word, but we call it the compound because there's like 5 of the Burkett tribes that live around here. Burkett / Maher, because that's on my maternal side is the Mahers, which is where the Irishman comes from. So it's a compound because we have 5 tribes that live here, and they're all armed to the teeth, and they probably have more weapons than most small town militias have. So we call it the compound. Self-sustaining. It's pretty nice. Yep. So, right. Yeah. Plantation is wrong. Compound is the accurate vernacular. Philadelphia is just below Canton, Ohio, which is just below Cleveland. I do know where Canton, Ohio is. So, yeah, so I'm pretty close to New Philadelphia. I would say I'm within an hour for sure because I'm an hour away from Cleveland. So, oh, okay. According to my person, it's just over 2 hours to Philadelphia, Ohio. I don't know if it's the same. Is Philadelphia, Ohio the same as New Philadelphia, Ohio? I don't know. But all I can say is that it's within earshot of Cedar Point. Say no more. Are you familiar with Cedar Point? B, have you ever been to Cedar Point?
Nope.
It's like Six Flags, but not as corporate.
You are about 6-7 hours from me.
No, I am not. I am 4 hours from you. I know this because I drive out to you once a month to do no direction detail. You're 4 hours. You're 4 hours from me here, and you are 2 hours from me in New Jersey. And so when I come to do your show, or our show, when I come to do our show, I stay with my buddy in New Jersey, and then I come and see you, and then I drive home from there. So you're 4 hours from me. If I wanted to,
your foot must be heavy on that pedal.
You don't know what you're talking about. Listen, the speed limit on I-80 is 70 miles an hour. So theoretically, if you don't want to get pulled over, you can go 84 miles per hour and not get pulled over because 15 miles an hour over the speed limit will get you a reckless driving, but 14 will not. And so they don't go after the 14 miles per hour. They go up to the 15 because it's more money. And if it's all about the revenue, they're going after the super speeders. So you gotta find that little niche and make sure you have Waze on because we're in this together, people. If you do not tell me where the police officers are, I'm going to be very angry with you. Anyway, back to our program. This is not monetized and it is not made for kids, so I don't care. All right, let's see here. We did the Thor sponsor giveaway. Yep, done. Check. Read the comments. Yep, we've been doing that. Check. Let Brian interact directly with the chats. Check. If he didn't have his phone, he would be able to, but he's on his phone, so he can't even probably read the comments.
It's so tiny. I cannot see it.
I don't know. Does this?
I've been straining, but I cannot see it.
Does this help?
No, not at all.
No, not at all. All right.
It's smaller than a thumbtack for me.
Cedar Point and Kings Island are awesome amusement parks. That is correct. Can you tell me what happened to Geauga Lake? Geauga Lake was also amazing, and it's gone now. And so I was coming back from Michigan to Chicago, and I got pulled over at 96 and a 70. Well done, sir. And only got a verbal warning. It must be your face. You just must have a kind face. All right. All right. We're approaching the 2 hour mark. So, Brian, the future of detailing. What make Brian predict the next 5 years? What products are going to be disappearing? What technology becomes standard? Would you say that PPF is getting more and more popular? Because I know a lot of detailers that absolutely hated PPF 5 years ago, and now people are kind of really leaning into it.
Well, it's effective. It's effective, and it's more and more popular for those that want it. The expense to own a business that includes PPF is scary to get into, especially the first few years. So that one there is hard. It's hard. During times like this, with the economy is shaky and there's a lot of questions about it. The search for PPF and that type of service dips rather quickly. So it's hard to say. We're also into sprayable PPF, and that's something that's new.
What?
So the sprayable PPF, that's why we're in that new building, because it has a booth
Yeah.
out in the middle of nowhere. So sprayable PPF, you could do it clear, you could do it matte, you could do it satin, and there are thousands and thousands and thousands of color combinations that you can change the appearance of your vehicle as well. Metallic, flat paints, whatever color you can dream of, they can mix together.
What? This is the first I've ever heard about it. What is sprayable PPF? And apparently, according to the Armor Auto Lab, it's all the rage. What is this?
Yeah, I have a couple videos on it. It's fantastic. It is a huge. It's even a bigger learning curve than regular PPF off the roll, which is also. I mean, that alone can take years to master and to make yourself efficient, so you're not wasting money. Sprayable PPF is a learning curve for me because I was never a body. I never worked in a body shop. Always been jealous of those who can paint, who have a lot of experience and a lot of years behind in the spray booth. Because I love doing it. I always have loved doing it. I just don't know how. I'm learning. It's a craft that is so much fun and so rewarding, and my hat goes off to anybody that is in the auto body industry.
Wow, dude, it's wild. Like
So
like
sprayable
all of,
PPF you can layer it thinner or thicker than regular PPF. You can go 8 mils, 12 mils. It on average, you want to do 4 layers of the base, which is the strength of the film, and then there is a topper layer that will give you the gloss, or give you coating characteristics, give it the look. So it's 6 layers altogether. The preparation for it is there's a lot to do. There's a lot you have to have your masking or taping game, mastered to get a great finish.
huh, that's wild, dude. Um, that's so you don't have to worry about cutting and needing to have the make and model and all that stuff. You can just do it. Yeah.
Yeah, no patterns. Just tape it off. Whatever you're going to do, tape it off and learn how to paint.
It's a brave
By the
new
way,
world, my friends.
when the customer's finished with it, tired of it, or if it gets beat up to a point where they want to have another layer, start fresh, or just get rid of it, it peels off 3 times easier than your regular films.
Right. Wow. Wow. Great new world. I never would have even thought about that. Corey Firebird. All right, Brian, rapid fire. One step or multi-step?
One,
Rotary or DA?
rotary.
Foam or rinseless?
I do both. On my personal car, it's mostly rinseless. For maintenance visits, it's going to be foam, so it's a combination of both.
James Diamond showed up. Nice. Glad to have you on board. All right. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Ceramic or sealant?
Sealant.
Shop or mobile?
You broke up there.
Shop or mobile?
Shop. I've been through both.
Yeah. I know. As a matter of fact, that's what you were doing when I first met you. So that would have been, like you said, 2017. You would shut down your shop on Fridays and perform maintenance washes for the elder community across the street from your old shop.
Yep.
That was
yep.
also another one.
That, and
thing.
we did keep some customers that had vehicles that did not leave the premises, like they had a pole barn full of collectibles and stuff, and or they didn't have insurance. They dropped their insurance on it or whatever. But these were old antiques, classics, collectibles that stayed on the premises, and we went there to maintain them.
Brian, what's your take on OptiShield wipe on liquid PPF? Applies like a ceramic, but takes 4 layers to reach 28 to 32 microns of thickness.
The wipe-on version of the liquid PPF, I don't have a lot of experience with. For me, it's easier to do the spraying. So any sprayable PPF for me would be a better option. If
Okay.
you don't want to learn how to spray, then the wipe-on, I guess, would be. Now, the wipe-on clear coats, I've had great luck with them. I've been able to do a lot with them. They really do have serve a purpose and have their own space in the industry. It all does.
Okay. So you and I have spent a lot of time together, not just in the studio hanging out, but a lot of time in the old warehouse. You and I spent a lot of time. There would be, hours and hours and hours of hanging out. We have a viewer that would like to know, how tolerable is it to deal with Aaron for an extended period of time? I'm not sure I can handle a trip to Chicago with him or not. LOL.
Just be prepared to laugh. It's a lot of fun. He's a great guy, and he has a fantastic sense of humor.
Okay, very good. Thank you. I appreciate that. He's sucking you in. All right. It's like asking for a business reference. In New Jersey, you weren't allowed to give a disparaging reference if somebody called and said, "Hey, apparently, this guy Aaron used to work for you. Blah 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 blah. Would you, recommend him coming to work for us?" It's illegal in New Jersey
Yeah.
to give
Yep.
a negative review. So
I remember that.
the loophole is, it's a wonderful employee. I would not hire him again. So, yeah, thank you, Brian. I appreciate the endorsement. Oh, yeah, he's great. You should definitely hang out with him. I know the answer to this one already. YouTube or Facebook?
Neither.
Neither. Really? All right.
If we're talking about the platform by itself and those that run it, neither. Both garbage. If you're talking about the people that you can reach and connect with, life changing. So that we're on either end of the spectrum there.
Okay. All right. What would you say was the worst detailing trend that ever hit the airwaves?
Detailing trend. That's well, the first thing that always comes to mind is seeing polishers in videos where they're stabbing at it and going back and forth 100 miles an hour, and they have the damn thing on the 6th speed setting. Mow down method, whatever
Yeah.
you want to call that.
Mow down method.
Always made me giggle.
All right. All right. What do you think was the most overrated product in history?
Ceramic coatings.
Ceramic coatings are overrated?
Hmm?
And then what would be the most overrated product category? Well, ceramics. You've already said.
Ceramic coatings.
Yeah, ceramic coatings. Okay. Most underrated skill a detailer can have.
Underrated.
Mm-hmm.
That would be wet sanding, or well, that would be wet sanding. Just keeping it by itself.
Okay. Wet sanding. Oh, I remember watching when like I said, I went to detailing school. I remember watching the head detailer. He had I guess they had parked a car underneath a pine tree, and it had sap pitting all over the car, and he had to wet sand the entire thing. And I remember watching he had to keep switching hands because they would go numb from all the vibrations of the wet sand.
Yeah, I just worked on a car that the sap ate through the clear coat down into the base coat and down into the metal. I mean, that stuff is nasty. Get that off right away.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know it would go that deep.
Well, anything from Mother Nature is acidic.
Yeah. We had a car hit a buzzard. Like it hit a buzzard. And the stomach acid of the buzzard burned through the radiator. That's crazy.
Yeah. The
All right,
timing is crazy with that. Can you imagine the timing? That reminds me, my son was driving one time and he had his window open and a screeching owl came in through the window and smacked his face.
what?
I don't know if I showed you the pictures of that. Yeah, they
No.
they headbutted each other face to face. The owl was sitting in his back seat. He pulled over, and it had its one eye closed for a couple minutes, and then it kind of got its bell rung, and then it was fine. Opened up both eyes, flew away, and they were both fine. But that could have
That
turned
is
out pretty.
wild.
Yeah.
All right. Good question, Keith, but I need the 100 to Keith. How good is Chronos graphene, or just do Chronos by itself? It might make my final list for my new car. Well, B, you've worked with both of them.
Yes. So I would always myself go with just the base ceramic coating.
Right. I know how you feel about graphene.
You sure do.
I appreciate that about you, and you have maintained that the entire time that I have known you. I do enjoy. We did that no direction detail using the new graphene, and the user experience you enjoyed, but we don't have any real hard data to convince you that it's the juice is worth the squeeze, and I appreciate that about you.
That's the best way to put it.
All right. What is one product that you refuse to work without?
Without.
Yeah, like what is in your arsenal that you have to have? Like I'm not gonna waste my time doing a detail if I don't have blank.
Well, the first thing I would say, a one-step polish of any kind, really.
Okay. All right, one step polish. And then is there any person in this industry that deserves to have more recognition, in your opinion? Besides you, of course.
Oh, to me, it's all the young individuals out there that are brave enough to start their own business and get something going for themselves. It's a huge leap. It takes a lot of bravery, and especially in this day and age, starting a business could be a little bit scary. But I
100%.
think they deserve more recognition than any influencer.
If I have issues. I do. I have hangups. I have OCD issues. Particularly if I don't know where the food is coming from or how it's coming. But I will stop at every single lemonade stand by kids, and I will give them. I usually give them. I give them a $20 bill. I don't want your lemonade because I don't know where it's been, but I want to reward that entrepreneurial spirit as much as humanly possible. And I agree with you, Brian. Like any fool that has the guts to start a small business, I think that we definitely should reward that because it is
No doubt.
It is the scariest thing on the planet. My Phoenix journey has it cost a lot. It cost a lot physically, emotionally, mentally. Yeah, I had to sell my comic book collection of 40 years, to make the rent. It's hard, and so many people give up because it's just too hard. And I can't keep going. I can't keep doing this. I can't do 16-hour days and sleepless nights. And
It's always the 4 steps backwards before you start taking that step or two forward that a lot can't get through mentally or even monetarily.
Well, yeah, that's what it is. Like you burn through all of your savings, you burn through everything, and like again, not to be whatever, but like, this is a heavily oversaturated um, market. I remember talking to Chelsea at SEMA last year. We were talking about her honest detail products, and we had a conversation. And we had a real heart to heart about it. And I love Chelsea. She's a sister. Um, and I just said, look around this room. You're looking at least 1,000 different chemical companies. And maybe they're all white labeled, maybe they're not, maybe they're private brand, maybe they found the secret sauce and whatnot, but there's a lot. There's a lot of chemical companies out there. And you just need to have both eyes wide open if you're gonna come into this market. You gotta earn it. You gotta earn it. Just as
Well,
much as
if you
anybody. You
don't
did
have
your own
your
chemical company.
if you don't have your eyes open, they will be open for you in a short amount of time.
Look at you, dude. Look at you, right here. Brian, read this. I know you can't read it, but I'll read it for you. I remember starting my business because of Brian. Forever grateful for his mentorship, and I owe him a steak dinner.
I'm just happy reading that right there. I appreciate the offer. Steak dinner, boy, that sounds good.
Doesn't it though?
But I'm very happy for any success at all.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Ooh, it's getting deep on the corner. All right. I'm not asking that question. I'm not asking that question. It's a loaded question. All right. Those are the other two questions that are starred. They've been asked. They've been asked and they've been answered. So, all right. I guess this is it. Crossed the 2 hour mark, which I appreciate. We've known each other for over a decade, Brian. Forget Apex, forget detailing, forget business. What has the last 10 years taught Brian Spitler about life and that the Brian I met in 2015 didn't understand yet?
Well, that's going to be something in motion until I take my last breath. So in that 10 years, it's going to be going deeper into business ventures. I've been through quite a few now, and some of those ventures have been so different. Um, having a good friend and someone I can bounce my ideas off of. This guy right here. I'm not sure
You,
what side of the screen you are
I
to
don't
me
know either.
for everybody else, but that's I'll tell you that's something I really appreciate.
Yeah, I will say the same about you. Like, weird, Brian. I don't know if I ever would have had the courage to do this without you.
Sure, you would have.
No, I don't think I would have. I don't think I would have had the courage
You just needed a good swift kick in the ass to get you going.
I mean, there was a series of events. All right. So first and foremost, you planted the seed early, and then I went fishing with Art Morrison, who revealed who he was to me, and was just like, "Hey, are you coming to SEMA this year?" This would have been 2019. Are you coming to SEMA? And I was like, "No, I'm done with SEMA. I've had enough of SEMA." And he was like, "Well, if you come to SEMA, I'll introduce you to some people." And he introduced me to Motor Trend, and he introduced me to all this and everything, and so on and so forth. And then 2019, and then 2020 happened. Again, going back to the whole COVID thing, 2020 happened. And then I built that team. Those guys were like, Joe's one of my best friends, and he was the ops manager. And Huda is right there. He's one of my ride or dies. And Carazino, I hand selected Carazino to take over sales manager because he had that charisma. He just had the ability to talk to people. So I had built this team, and they all quit. And it was you that kept saying, "Do it yourself and do it." Conway, good to see you. So anyway, if it wasn't from you just continuously pitching me the idea of doing it yourself, um, well, at least 2018, if not sooner than that, I wouldn't have even entertained the idea. I would have, as a matter of fact, I remember talking to Ray, the old salesman, or the old ops manager before he quit. I remember telling him, hey, I'm like 45 years old and I have no idea like who would hire me if I left here. Who would hire me? I don't know who wants to hire a 45-year-old management issued person, blah, 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 blah. No, you know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to do? Who's going to hire a marketing person or a salesperson at age 45? And I was really, really, really scared. I remember talking to Ray about it. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And here you were the entire time. Do it yourself. And all of the pieces came into place. And I was like, all right. I went home. I talked to my dad. I talked to a couple of doctor friends that I knew from the old days of EMS. And I was looking for investors and bink, bonk, bink, bonk, bink. It all laid into play. I should have gotten a food truck, but here I am making chemicals instead.
Well, you can make chemicals in your food truck.
This is true. This is true. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Let's wrap this pig up. Or do I have to? How many giveaways did we do? We did 2 giveaways. Do I have to? Am I supposed to give something else away? Do you have a trivia question? Why don't we do a trivia question for a $15 gift card? Brian, anything at all, Brian?
I did. You broke up. I did not hear that.
Oh, I said, give us a trivia question so I can give away a $15 gift card. So just ask a question to the world. Ron's in the house.
Okay, we'll stick to the Phoenix products. What 3 main ingredients or active ingredients in Glossom wax give it that beautiful dripping wet look?
Wow, you do like Glossom wax. You really like Glossom wax.
Yep.
That's fantastic. We can be. It's also generic. So give me the 3 main components of Glossom wax that make Glossom wax do what Glossom wax does. Is the question. Life is crazy. 1 minute, things can be the best. The next, the world can fall around you. In the end, you all have to ask yourself to kick butt, take names, chew gum, and I'm fresh out of gum. It's a great movie. I think we quoted that movie in at least one of our No Directions.
We had to have.
All right. So we got magicry, wizardry, and alchemy, which I probably would agree with. And then we have, how do you feel about this answer? Teflon, resins, and polymers.
Well, Teflon polymers and wax, right?
What was she? Don't give the answer. Can't give the answer, but yeah, you just gave the answer. Those are the 3. So, should I send you a bottle of Glossom wax?
I what?
You clown. All right, so I'm going to increase. By the way, I'm going to increase the gift card number to.
Here, do this instead. A bottle of your graphene Chronos on me. Just bill me for it for somebody out there.
Are you serious?
Yep, you come up with the question.
Man, I got to come up with the question
right now. Ahora.
All right. Here's the question. Ready? Who? You used to have 2 employees, your son, and who do I call the other Brian? Or I should say, what do I call the other Brian?
His nickname?
Yeah, what's his nickname?
Okay, that's a good one.
It is a good one, right? What is the other Brian's nickname?
Don't run so far away.
Oh, it's such a... 30 ml graphene. Flock of Seagulls is correct.
Yep.
Keith Firebird is a double winner. All right, Keith. You're back. You're officially back as winning everything on every episode of every podcast. All right. Okay, kids. I think that's a wrap. Brian, thank you. Thank you for over a decade's worth of friendship. I appreciate
My pleasure. Been my pleasure.
You've been an amazing guest as always. I love when you come on the show. You are a fan favorite. Everybody loves you, and we have to go through the numbers. So if you don't mind me indulging, I gotta run through the numbers. Okay, so we're doing. We're on the other side of July. So now that we're on the other side of July, we need to really pay attention to the Pay It Forward campaign. You can always send your donations or stop by the warehouse. We're at 4030 Simon Road in Boardman, Ohio, 44512. We're always looking for ways to help the community. I also want you guys to pay attention to the GoFundMe page that Phoenix has for shipping. That entire funding. I think I have next week. I'll have the little. There's a QR code that goes. There's a QR code. I can't get there. There's a QR code that goes above Brian's head that you can scan with your phone, and it'll take you to the GoFundMe page. We had so many donations last year that I ended up paying the last $200 out of my own money, so that we could send out everything that we got. We got so much stuff that it was over $2,000 worth in just shipping alone. Cost over $2,000. So it is really important that you guys can chip in however you can. Again, happy birthday, Firebird! You deserve. If anybody deserves it on their birthday, it is you. All right. Also, if you'd like to be a guest on Curmudgeon's Corner, or you know somebody that you would like me to interview, you can contact the show. Drop us an email at thecorner@phoenixeod.com. Rick Smith will respond to you and let you know when we can fit him in, or her in, or they in. I don't care. Whatever you. I don't care. And you can also just call the Phoenix hotline, 609-232-2927, and most likely talk to me or Rick or Alan or Lachlan, whatever, it doesn't matter. And then of course follow us on Instagram so that you know who is going to be on the show next. Brian, where can people find you?
Well, we will be doing our no direction content. We're gonna get back up on that horse again.
I love that. That's
and of course, I mean, the auction channel's not going anywhere. There's always going to be content uploaded to that channel, and the detailing by Apex. But I just want to say thanks for having me, and for those that had hung in there for 2 hours and 18, almost 19 minutes. I just want to wish you guys all the health, happiness, and success in the world.
Thanks, brother. We have a good time here. All right. So the important stuff. This is really, really important. Suicide prevention and crisis counseling resources. If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, seek help from a professional and call 988. The United States' first nationwide 3-digit mental health crisis hotline. 988 will connect callers with trained mental health counselors. You can also text the word HOME to 741-741 in the U.S. and Canada to reach a crisis text line. You can also visit the www.apa.org/topics/crisis-hotlines. And that will get you in contact with anything that you are facing. It's substance abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, mental abuse. Whatever demon that you are facing, you do not have to face it alone. You don't. And I encourage you to reach out to somebody. And I know how the darkness works. I know that the darkness won't allow you to, but if there is even a glimpse, a break in the darkness where you can just finally reach out and just text home, please do it. The world is so much better with you in it. You don't know it, you don't realize it, and I can tell you from personal experience that if you just hold on, tomorrow's going to be better. I promise you, tomorrow's going to be better, and the world is a better place with you in it. And then last but not least, if you enjoyed tonight's show, please like and subscribe, and more importantly, share it with somebody that might benefit from hearing the message. And I want to say, on the corner, you are seen, you are heard, and you are loved. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.